Hey everyone, if you're anything like me and you're in higher education recruitment, you're always looking for ways to, make your life easier, right?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to finding the best candidates.
Yeah, totally.
So we're doing a deep dive today into academicjobs.com, a
Mm.
platform that's kind of making some waves,
Yeah.
claiming to be a real game changer in the field.
Well, and it is a pretty crowded market out there, so any platform that's really trying to stand out has got to, really deliver.
For sure.
I got to admit though, a few things about academicjobs.com caught my eye right away.
Okay, so that's what we're here to figure out, right? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
So their big thing is using AI and algorithms, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not just another job board where you kind of like post and hope for the best.
Right.
They say this tech helps connect the right people with the right jobs. And that's a win for both sides, wouldn't you say?
It would be. I mean, that's ideal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, the question is, how does their AI actually stack up against other platforms? Like,
Right.
what are they doing that's so different?
Yeah, exactly.
From what I've seen, it seems like academicjobs.com is really going beyond just basic keyword matching.
Okay.
Think about those like music streaming services.
Yeah.
Like Spotify or Pandora that suggests songs based on what you've listened to before.
Yeah, right.
This platform is kind of trying to do the same thing, but for like academic careers.
Interesting. Okay, so it's getting to know candidates and institutions on a deeper level. But how does that actually work?
Well, imagine you're trying to like find someone with very, very specific research interests.
Okay.
Right? Like something super niche, like, I don't know, the history of scientific illustration in 19th century botanical journals.
Wow. Okay.
Super specific, right?
Yeah.
Academicjobs.com says they analyze, not just keywords, but like actual skills, experience, even publication history to make sure those really niche jobs actually reach the right people.
That's a level of detail I haven't really seen on other platforms.
Right.
But wouldn't that limit the pool of candidates? I mean, we all know how specialized academia can get.
Yeah, and that's where their approach to like, I guess what they call passive candidates comes in.
Okay.
So, think about it. Some of the best people for a job might not even be actively looking, right?
Yeah.
They might be content where they are, but would be open to the right opportunity if it came along.
Makes sense.
So you see where they're going with this.
I think so, yeah.
Academicjobs.com has things like academic rankings and rate my professor built in.
Okay, yeah.
So it's kind of like they're trying to attract professionals who are already like, engaged in the academic world,
Got it.
even if they're not like actively searching for jobs on those typical job boards.
Yeah. So it's about attracting those people who are maybe already happy, but would be open to something amazing if it came up.
That's it.
That's smart.
And they're likely to have a strong track record, right? Because they're already kind of embedded in that world.
That's a great point. It's about quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And, it's not just about attracting those candidates either, right?
Right.
Academicjobs.com, they actually have a ton of content.
Hmm.
Like hundreds of podcasts, articles, all sorts of stuff.
I was surprised. Yeah.
So is that just noise?
Yeah.
Or is there a strategy behind that?
I think it's really about building trust.
Okay.
It's about positioning themselves as more than just like a listing service.
Okay. Yeah.
When candidates find valuable content on a platform, they start to see it as a resource, as like a thought leader in that field.
So it's about creating that positive impression even before someone, even thinks about needing to post a job or search for one.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Think about it. Like someone might find a podcast that they love on academicjobs.com, right? Like months before they even start thinking about, switching jobs or anything like that. And then when they do start looking for that new position, they'll already kind of have that positive association with the platform.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's smart. Okay, so they're putting a lot of effort into the user experience. But what about the numbers?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, recruiters need results.
Yeah.
Right. So what can academicjobs.com actually deliver?
Well, they claim to have over 200 subject categories, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Think about all those really, really niche fields we were talking about.
Yeah.
It seems like they've actually got most of that covered.
Wow.
And they also emphasize global reach, which is essential for institutions that are looking for international talent.
Right. And let's be real, time is precious.
Oh, yeah.
They advertise a 90-second job posting time.
Oh, wow.
That's got to be a huge plus, right?
Yeah.
For recruiters who are already super busy.
Oh, for sure. Speed and efficiency are super important.
Yeah.
But, the real question is, do those numbers actually translate into hires? Like, are they actually connecting institutions with the right candidates?
Yeah,
And are those candidates actually getting hired?
right. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's where we really need to like look beyond the marketing hype and see what the data tells us.
All right, well, let's talk about the bottom line,
Yeah.
the pricing.
Yeah.
Academicjobs.com charges $315 per post or $999 for unlimited monthly postings.
Wow.
So is that a good deal?
Well, I think it depends, right? It
Yeah.
really depends on, your institution's needs.
Okay,
If you're constantly hiring, then, maybe that unlimited option becomes really attractive.
makes sense.
But for smaller institutions or those with like less frequent hiring needs, it might make more sense to, really think about the cost per hire
Yeah.
and compare that to other methods.
Right, so it's about figuring out what works best for your budget and your hiring goals.
Yeah,
It seems like they've got options, which is good, but beyond the cost, we also need to think about the value.
exactly.
What are institutions actually getting for their money?
That's the key question, right? I mean, we've seen that academicjobs.com offers a lot of promising features,
Uh-huh.
but it's important to really dig deeper and understand, how do those features actually translate into results?
Yeah.
Are they actually delivering on those promises?
Right, right.
And are institutions really seeing a return on their investment?
That's what we want to know.
Exactly.
Those are all great questions, and those are definitely the questions we're going to be exploring as we keep going, as we kind of continue our deep dive. We're going to take a closer look at, what really sets academicjobs.com apart from the competition.
Yeah,
And ultimately, does it live up to the hype?
we'll see.
So we're back, and we're really trying to get into, like, what sets academicjobs.com apart. One thing that really jumped out at me was their focus on, like, cultural relevance.
Uh-huh.
They have, like, these region-specific pages,
Yeah.
which seems like, more than just translating job postings.
Right. Oh, you're totally right. It's like way deeper than that.
Right.
Higher ed recruitment, it's global.
Yeah.
But different regions have, their own academic cultures,
Right.
different expectations. So,
Totally.
like, imagine a small liberal arts college in the U.S. trying to attract a professor from, like, a huge research university in Europe.
Oh, yeah.
The approach has to be different.
Okay, so it's not just a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're trying to make sure your message really resonates no matter where they are.
Yeah, precisely. And on top of that, they really emphasize employer branding. They
Mhm.
actually offer free employer profile listings.
Wait, free?
Yeah.
Like totally free?
It seems that way, yeah.
That's pretty generous.
It is.
But why is branding so important in higher ed recruitment?
Well, think about it from the candidate's perspective, right?
Okay.
They're not just looking for a job.
Right.
They want to find the right fit.
Yeah.
They want to work somewhere that, aligns with their values,
Cool.
their aspirations.
Okay, so it's about telling your institution's story, not just listing open positions.
Exactly. Imagine two universities, right?
Yeah.
Both have positions open in the same field.
Okay.
One just lists the requirement.
Uh-huh.
The other one really showcases their, commitment to undergraduate research or a diverse community or whatever.
Yeah.
Which one do you think is going to attract the top talent?
The one that tells the story, for sure.
Right.
But how do you, like, translate that into an online profile?
Yeah.
What are some concrete things that institutions can do to, like, really stand out on academicjobs.com?
Well, I mean, they've got these employer profiles, right? That's
Yeah.
a good start.
Okay.
It's a space to really go beyond just listing those open positions.
Okay.
Institutions can highlight, what are their unique strengths?
Yeah.
Is it cutting-edge facilities, a well-known faculty, strong commitment to social justice, whatever it is?
So it's about showcasing your personality,
Yeah,
not just being like another faceless institution.
exactly. Show potential candidates, like, what it's actually like to work at your institution.
Okay, yeah.
Use, high-quality photos,
Yeah,
videos of your campus, students doing research, faculty interacting with their mentees.
I love that.
Really paint that picture,
Yeah, the visuals are so powerful.
They are.
You can really, like, draw people in and make them feel like they're already there.
Absolutely.
What else can institutions do, like, to really make their profile stand out?
Oh, don't forget about your faculty.
Right.
Highlight their accomplishments,
Yeah.
their publications, their areas of expertise.
Uh-huh.
This adds so much credibility.
It does.
And it really showcases that intellectual vibrancy of your institution.
Right, because potential candidates want to know that they would be working with, the leading minds in their field.
Of course.
It's like saying, come join our amazing team.
That's the idea. And, tailoring your message to your target audience is key.
Yeah.
If you're looking for, like, early career academics, you might really want to emphasize like mentorship opportunities.
Yeah, yeah,
But if you're going after like senior faculty, maybe research funding is the bigger draw.
right. It's all about understanding what motivates your ideal candidate and really presenting your institution in a way that resonates with them. Now, we talked earlier about their content strategy,
Yeah.
but I'm actually kind of curious to dig a little deeper.
Okay.
They mentioned producing like hundreds of podcasts
Yeah.
and what they called like viral content.
Uh-huh.
What does that actually look like?
Well, I was surprised, from what I saw, their content is actually pretty substantial.
Yeah.
They're not just like chasing clicks.
Right.
Their podcasts, for example, they cover like a wide range of topics that are actually relevant to academics,
Yeah.
higher professionals.
Uh-huh.
Things like career advice, future of higher education, and research trends, even teaching strategies.
So it's not just about attracting job seekers.
Right.
It's also about providing like valuable resources, insights,
Yes.
things that can actually benefit their careers in the long run.
Exactly. By like becoming a trusted source of information, they're building a community
Okay.
of engaged academics,
Yeah.
who see them as more than just that job board.
It's like they're saying, we're here for you throughout your academic journey.
Yeah.
Not just when you're, desperate for a job.
Exactly. And I think that approach really sets them apart from like those traditional job boards,
Yeah.
which often feel, very transactional.
For sure.
Now, let's be realistic. No platform is perfect.
Right.
There are always going to be potential drawbacks.
That's true.
So what are some things institutions should be aware of, before they really dive into academicjobs.com?
That's a great point. What are like the potential downsides?
Well, one thing to think about is like their reliance on technology,
Okay.
AI and algorithms. They can be powerful tools, but they're not infallible.
Right.
There's always a chance the perfect candidate might slip through the cracks,
Right.
or the algorithm might make, a less than ideal match.
So institutions need to remember that technology is just one part of the equation.
Absolutely. Human judgment is still so important.
Right.
Use the platform's features to your advantage, but don't just rely on them blindly.
Yeah.
You still need to evaluate candidates yourself and make informed decisions
For sure.
based on your institution's specific needs.
That's a good point. And I imagine, there's a bit of a learning curve with any new platform.
There is, but honestly, their interface seems pretty user-friendly.
Okay.
They also offer support resources,
Yeah.
tutorials, to help institutions get up to speed quickly.
That's good. That's reassuring. Now, we talked about their pricing.
Uh-huh.
Are there any, like, hidden costs, surprises that institutions should be aware of?
From what I've seen, they're actually very transparent about their pricing.
Okay, good.
The per post and unlimited options are pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And there don't seem to be any hidden fees.
Transparency is always good.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to budgeting.
Oh, for sure.
But it's not just about that upfront cost, right?
No.
It's about the overall value,
Absolutely.
the return on investment.
You have to factor in, the time and resources you're saving
Yeah.
by using a platform like this.
Right.
Think about all the hours you'd normally spend, screening resumes.
Oh, yeah.
Conducting
How
interview.
many hours?
If academicjobs.com can actually streamline that whole process,
Yeah.
it could really be a significant cost saver.
That's a great point. It's not just about the price tag, it's about the big picture.
Exactly.
So it's not a magic bullet,
Right.
but it's definitely like a tool worth considering.
I think so, yeah. It has the potential to really like shake things up in higher ed recruitment.
Yeah.
But, institutions need to approach it thoughtfully.
Right.
Really understand their goals
Uh-huh.
and make sure it actually aligns with like their overall recruitment strategy.
Well said. It's about finding the right fit for your institution.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, I want to circle back to employer branding.
Okay.
We talked about how important it is to, tell your institution's story.
Yeah.
But what are like some specific tips
Hmm.
for making your profile really shine on academicjobs.com?
That's a great question. Yeah. And something we can definitely delve into further.
Okay, awesome.
Let's explore that next.
Okay, so we're back and ready to get into some like actionable tips
Yeah.
for making your institution's profile, really stand out on academicjobs.com.
Okay.
Where do we even start?
Well, I think, clarity is key.
Okay.
Before you even start thinking about, fancy visuals or anything like that, you really need to just be able to say, like, what makes your institution unique?
Okay.
What are your core values?
Yeah.
What kind of environment do you offer?
Uh-huh.
What are those things that really set you apart?
Right, so it's about knowing your strengths and being able to, like, really clearly articulate them.
Exactly.
But then how do you translate that into, like, an engaging profile?
Well, don't be afraid to let, your personality shine through.
Okay.
Candidates want to get a sense of like what is actually like to work at your institution.
Yeah, for sure.
And, high quality photos and videos, they can make a huge difference.
Show, don't tell. Right. What kind of visuals are we talking about?
Well, think about what you would want to see if you were a potential candidate.
Okay.
Showcase, your beautiful campus, students engaged in research, faculty interacting with their students. Give them that glimpse into the day-to-day life of your institution.
I love that. Those visuals can really make people feel like they're already there. It's about getting that emotional connection.
Absolutely. And, don't forget to highlight your faculty and their accomplishments.
Oh, right.
Their expertise, their research. These are huge assets.
Yeah.
Showcase their publications, awards, areas of specialization.
Right, because potential candidates want to know that they'd be working alongside, leading minds in their field. It's a way to build credibility and showcase, like, the intellectual depth of your institution.
Exactly. It's like saying, come join our team of amazing scholars.
Yes, exactly. What about tailoring your message to different types of candidates?
Totally. Yeah. You have to think about what motivates, different segments of the academic job market.
Okay.
If you're looking for like early career academics, you might want to highlight things like mentorship opportunities,
Yeah.
professional development resources.
Yeah.
But if you're targeting more senior faculty, then you might focus on like research funding, leadership roles.
Right. It's all about understanding what your ideal candidate is looking for
Uh-huh.
and then presenting your institution in a way that really resonates, with those goals, those aspirations. Are
Yes.
there any other, like, key things that institutions should keep in mind?
Keep your profile fresh.
Yeah.
Keep it engaging. Don't let it just stagnate.
Right.
Regularly update it with new content, recent achievements, anything that really showcases the vibrancy of your institution.
So it's like a garden. You have to tend to it, keep it blooming.
I love that analogy. And remember, all of this effort, it's not just about attracting candidates for your current openings.
Right.
It's about building that strong reputation
Okay.
as an employer of choice
Yeah.
in the higher education world.
So it's a long-term investment.
It is.
And your institution's brand, its ability to attract top talent down the road.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, we've talked a lot about, what academicjobs.com offers,
Yeah,
but, the best way to really understand it is to experience it
I agree.
firsthand.
Yeah, all this information is great, but sometimes you just got to jump in and see for yourself.
So what's the best way for our listeners to get started?
Just head over to academicjobs.com and start exploring.
Okay.
Even if you're not ready to, post a job right now, you can create a free employer profile.
Okay.
Start playing around with the platform.
Yeah, it's a great way to just get a feel for the interface, explore the features, and see if it's the right fit. Who knows, you might even find your next star faculty member while you're there.
You never know. I mean, the world of higher education recruitment is constantly evolving, and it seems like academicjobs.com is really at the forefront of that change.
This has been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
I think we've given our listeners a lot to think about.
I agree. It's been a pleasure exploring this platform with you.
To all our listeners out there, we encourage you to check out academicjobs.com and see how it can help you navigate this, ever-changing landscape of higher education recruitment.
And who knows, maybe it'll be the game changer you've been looking for.
Thanks for joining us.